Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, wasn't really sure what I was going to do today, and then fate stepped in. Yeah, we had a little bit of a problem here, and this apparently just crept up just a little while ago, because I was out here this morning, there wasn't any problem. But we obviously have a major leak somewhere, and I think already I can see where the problem is. It's over here at the pump. Oh yeah, my hose broke. Okay, well, at least we know what to do about that. Alright, first thing we gotta do is stop the water flow in here. And here. That'll stop the problem from getting worse. But I've dropped about 6 inches of water in the pool here, so we're gonna... So after we fix this problem up, it's going to have to spend, I don't know, a long time filling this thing up again. Holy cow. Yeah, one little piece of hose breaks and the water drains out. It's kind of astonishing how quickly it happened too, because like I said, I was out here just like an hour and a half ago, and there was no problem. Now the water is so thick in here, it's in the garden, and it's actually running out to the street down the driveway. Alright, well, I guess we know what we're doing today. Kind of looking around and trying to figure out exactly what happened. I think it's become very, very clear. As soon as I realized that this was happening, I turned off the circuit breaker for the water pump, and I think that stopped the problem from getting a lot worse, a lot faster, because then it was just the weight of the water that was pulling down, and the water levels dropped so much that, you know, it's not going to be an issue. But it's obvious that when that hose popped, that that's the output hose that goes into the filter housing, all the water got literally pumped out, and it was a geyser, so like everything around here is wet. So I don't know, fortunately everything out here is pretty waterproof, so except for the fact that I'm gonna have to put probably I don't know, what does this thing hold, 14,000 gallons total? I'm gonna probably have to put, you know, 3,000 or 4,000 gallons in there. That's gonna take some time, big time. And I just got my water chemistry all under control now. That's gonna screw all that up too. Well, I guess it's a good thing I mowed yesterday, because there'd be no way I'm gonna mow today. Oi. So since I got the valves closed and it's going to take a long time to fill this thing up, I'm actually just going to start doing that now while I repair the problem here, because this won't take, this is going to take probably 6 hours to fill this thing up again. So, oh yeah, I got my own pool in my backyard. This isn't exactly what I had in mind though, is it? Hoping the chlorine doesn't kill the plants here, but I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, it's about noon right now. I'll probably be running this for 5 or 6 hours to get the pool filled up again. Yes, the joys of being a homeowner. Now fortunately this isn't going to be a difficult fix. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the hose from here and the hose from here, and we're going to take it into the garage, and we're going to make sure it's all pushed together and tightened up properly, and then we can come back out here and reconnect it again. And now that I think about it, we're probably not even going to take this into the garage, because I have to pull the car out of the garage, and I can just do this right here on the table out here in the back. Basically, I just got to stuff that thing in there, clamp it down with a hose clamp, put the whole thing back together, and we're going to be good to go again. Alright, so we got the hose kind of this. See, the problem is this is a little adapter thing. They got the hose, they got this little adapter thing that interfaces with the pump, and then of course that one interfaces with the filter, and they're just using the hose clamp to keep it clamped together, and obviously it did not last as long as it should have. So I got this thing on. The hose clamp is still a little bit loose, so we're going to tighten that up, and hopefully this won't come apart again. Alright, so we got this thing all put back together. I'm actually going to have to wait a little while before I can turn on the pump, because right now the water level is kind of at its lower level, and it isn't going to come in here fast enough to, you know, feed the pump. And if I turn on now, I'm likely to burn my pump up. So We don't want to do that. We're going to let the water level rise an inch or so. So we'll leave the pump off for an hour or two, and then we can come back and try and get things going again. What a mess, huh? Yeah, well, part of the fun of being a homeowner. Anyway, now we just got to spend the next 6 or 8 hours filling the pool up again, and I don't know, we'll take a look, see what the chemistry looks like. So about 4.5 hours have passed by now, and the water level is up to its upper level now. Generally what I like to see is the water level up to the top of the skimmer, and we're actually a little overflowing right now, so yeah, just so we need a little bit more water out here, right? I am having a little bit of a problem with the pump though. Sometimes when it's hot, it takes a couple minutes for it to cool off when it's been turned off before you can turn it back on. Every time I try and turn it on now though, it's tripping a breaker in the garage. So I don't know, it may have been damaged on this. You know, the problem you run into with these pumps is they need the water flowing through them to keep themselves cool, and if this thing pulled the water level down to the point where there was nothing more feeding into it through the skimmer, it's possible the pump may have burned itself out. So I don't know, we're going to keep an eye on that, but I may end up having to get another pump. I don't know, we'll see. You see it isn't coming on, and when I do turn it on, leave it on for more than a minute, it'll either trip the breaker or the GFCI fault switch on this thing. So I don't know, we're gonna let this sit for a while and see if maybe whatever the problem is, it cools off. I am gonna I like to have the water kind of moving around in here, and I just kind of cheat a little bit. I bought a cheap little waterfall pump for a pond, and I just have it sitting in here, and when I turn this thing on, it kind of makes the water spin a little bit. So that kind of naturally also happens when the water pump is operating, because the jet in here, as you can see, kind of points to the side a little bit, and so that naturally makes the water spin too, rather than just shooting straight out in the middle and then, you know, kind of, you know, circulating around this way. I like to have the water kind of spin in a counterclockwise direction. So by aiming the jet that way and by running this thing, I can often achieve that. Like I said, I do need to keep the water moving a little bit though, so we're going to turn this thing on. So I got that little pump running now, and you can see we're starting to create some movement in here. Over the next few hours, the water will start spinning around in here, and that also kind of helps a little bit in terms of keeping the bottom of the pool clean, because when the water starts spinning, the solid stuff all tends to congregate in the middle, and so that makes it a lot easier to get it with the pool vacuum, because you know, it'll just go back and forth, and it's all in one small little area. So that's a good thing. I'm also taking another approach, because let's face it, there's enough water that's been in this backyard already today, so I don't want this thing dripping anymore. So even without the pump running, I can actually pump water out of here, and this is just gravity that's doing that. So basically, I just got the filter housing in here set to pump to waste. So basically, it's coming in the pump, going up this hose, and then right straight out. It's not even going through the filter. And so that's just a quick free way to get rid of some of the water, and it's going down pretty fast. So we're going to let that run for a couple minutes until this stops dripping, and then we'll switch this back to the normal mode. Now we're going to try one more little thing here before we end the day here. I was looking on my counter, and I had a couple of packets of seeds. You remember the first year I did a garden, I actually started growing things from seeds, and I didn't use all of them, and we're going to kind of make use of some of them now, just to grow a little treat for Flash. What these are is it's a packet of cilantro seeds and a packet of spinach seeds, and I'm just going to plant these on the top of her cave here, and anything that grows here You know, this is for her, so assuming I can get him to come out here. I don't know, this isn't exactly the ideal growing environment because it's a lot in shade here, you know, it's underneath this tree, but you know what, if something grows here, then it grows, and you know, that's what happens. It was meant to be. All right, and we'll start it off on the right hand by giving it a little bit of a drink of rainwater. I kind of stirred up the soil a little bit to get the seeds underneath the level of the ground there. I got most of them under here, so like I said, we'll see what happens. This may work, this may not work, but it's worth a try, right? All right. You ready for a little fresh spinach and fresh cilantro? A little luck will have you hooked up. So I gotta wonder what my neighbors think watching all this water running down my driveway, because this is the second time today this has happened. You know, like I said, when the hose popped off of the pump this morning, probably about 3,000 gallons of water rushed down my driveway in the space of probably 20 or 30 minutes, and now it's happening again. Alright, we almost got the water level down to the point where there's not much overflowage anymore, so another couple minutes and we ought to be ready to get going again. Alright, well, I think we've done about as much as we can do today. We got the water level back up, we got the problem fixed. I'm gonna have to see if I can get the pump going. So far it isn't looking good. Hopefully maybe that will change with time. Maybe whatever it is dried out or something like that. I can imagine, since the water comes out the top, that probably if it geysered straight up in the air, a lot of it came back down on top of the pump, and I don't know exactly how watertight that casing is, so we'll play it by ear. I'll let you know what goes on, but for now I think we're basically under control. So I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.